Hello. So as we continue um, to go into 2026, and this is going to be relevant for you know for all of our life. Like I said, I'm looking at what does it mean to actually follow Christ, and today we're at one of his strongest, I guess, pushbacks on what was going on in that society, and for us today as well. I mean, it never has stopped. And we're talking about lust. In Matthew chapter 5, verses 27 through 30, um, Jesus talks about, the behavior, not just the behavior, rather, but the desire. What is the desire in the heart? And he gets at something like really, really strong here. And I'm pretty sure you all know this. Matthew chapter 5, verses 27 through 30. And, so we're going to talk about it here first, read the scriptures, and then, I'll just tell you what I think. I'd like to know what you think. So leave it in the comments below. So, but it starts off, and this is, once again, the World English Bible, public domain. So it says, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I tell you that everyone who gazes at a woman to lust after her has committed adultery with her already in his heart. If your right eye causes you to stumble, pluck it out and throw it away from you. For it is more profitable for you that one of your members should perish than for your whole body to be cast into Gehenna." And that's just hell. That just means hell. Greek for hell. If your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away from you. For it is more profitable for you than that one of your members should perish than for your whole body to be cast into Gehenna or hell. So there we go. Really some strong language. He talks about if your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off. Obviously he doesn't mean that, literally, but figuratively, what causes us to sin? What is it that causes us to sin? And he's saying that it's better for you that you would come into glory without your right hand, than to be for have that to cause you to step away from the faith or lose your faith. And I like how how this commentary I'm looking at talks about how it says this strong language describes how Jesus's followers should renounce anything that will cause them to sin or turn away from the faith. Believers must get rid of any relationship, practice, or activity that leads to sin. So, as we know, this is a lot of things that men and women lust, right? It's not just men, although, he was speaking probably in a man, towards men, because he specifically mentioned gazing at a woman. But it could also mean for women as well. Men, I think, and this has been said from lots of, I guess, psychologists, that men have a tougher time. You see many men in the news falling because of, illicit relationships, other relationships. And there's another part here that says, the desire to have sex with someone other than your spouse is mental adultery, and therefore a sin. And that that lust is just a word for an illicit relationship. So it says to be faithful to your spouse with your body, but not your mind, is to break the trust so vital to a strong marriage. And I agree with that. So it's something we have to fight. These things, as you can see, like with the Michigan coach, who he was married, and he got in trouble because of that. Apparently he was speaking with people over Instagram or whatever. And that's just bad. As we can see, many men have fallen. Men in the Bible, Samson is a great example. So and David himself, he went after some the general's wife and had him killed, pushed into the front line. So you gotta ask yourself, I guess, what is it that feeds this desire in your life? And that's what I ask myself as well. What is this that's feeding this desire? What is it? And how can it be weakened? Is another question, because we want to, as followers of Christ, we should be trying to not play around with things that will kind of hamper, because it will hinder our relationship with him. Not that he's, as long as we repent and come back to him, there's nothing is ever no sin is greater than God's forgiveness at all. However, we want to maintain a good relationship with God, and this is the way to do it: keeping our conscience clean and following Christ, because Jesus told us these things for a reason, and he probably put it in the context of men, even though it applies to women, but put it in the context of men because men struggle with this. Obviously, it's he knew he got Jesus was a man, and he understood. They said he was tempted like us in all ways, so he had to know. And this thing, he's not saying be perfect or else. He's saying take it seriously, because he uses this strong language. If your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off. So we have to cut off those right hands, metaphorically, in our lives that are causing us to sin. So it's something to think about. Definitely something to think about. And this is, like I said, Jesus is not just talking about behavior. He's talking about the desire and the heart, and that's what Jesus always got to. And I really thank God that this is recorded in the Word to help direct us and guide us in our lives, men and women. Okay, thanks a lot. If you want, leave a comment below. Tell me what you think, and I'll see you next time.